Big old birds. They're coming. Coming to get you. The book we're going to talk about today is The Night Birds by Christopher Golden. This is the first time I've read this author, and this book is weird. I kind of went in blind. I didn't really read the synopsis. I just saw the book several times on social media, and so I ran across it at the library and I picked it up. So, the story follows this woman, Ruby. One night, she's at home, she goes outside, crickets are making a ruckus. Suddenly, the crickets go silent. Everything is weirdly silent. And then all of a sudden, there's this woman with a baby in her yard who's like, I need your help. And this can never be good. Why did the crickets go silent? That's weird, right? So she starts talking to the woman. She finds out her sister was murdered. The baby was her sister's. And then this woman, May, tells Ruby this crazy story about how she's part of this coven and she's a witch, but she's not quite a witch. It's something older than that. And the reason the term witches is because of them who exist. And they're like this Icelandic coven that worships this goddess called Stratum, who is the mother of all birds. And there's this whole crazy backstory. And Ruby's like, witchcraft isn't real. None of that exists. Da 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 da. And May is like, I need your help. We need to get out of here. They're going to be coming for him and da 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 da. And like, Ruby doesn't believe this until, oh, the coven comes for the child because they want to murder the child. And the whole thing is if they murder this child, then Stratton can be reborn. And originally, like, Bella, who is Ruby's sister, was going to give up the child so they could perform a ritual to bring their goddess back and whatnot. But then they had second thoughts about it once the baby came. And now you have May trying to escape this coven of very dedicated Stratum servants who want to take this baby and kill it. Ruby's like, okay, well, where the F can I even go? And then she thinks of this guy, Charlie Book, who she used to be with. They had a breakup that kind of was focused around the fact that she had had a miscarriage. He wasn't the person she thought he was, and this, that, and the other, but she knows he'll probably help her if they go to him, and he does scientific research and he stays out on this freighter that is partially underwater because he's been doing studies on the mangroves out there and the different flora and fauna and whatnot. And so she goes to him. It's like, hey, we need your help. My sister was murdered, this, that, and the other. And so he's like, of course he's going to help her because he never stopped loving her. He takes her and this woman, May, and they go out on the boat. And all the while, May is like looking around and up in the sky, and Ruby's like, what the heck? Like, these people, they can't fly. And May's like, I don't think you're understanding the whole witchcraft and magic thing is real. You're not getting this. And so the book's called The Night Birds, right? So maybe this coven, the goddess that they worship, Stratum, the mother of all birds, allows them to take the form of really big birds. Because, well, yes, that's that's a thing in this. And so they end up out on this freighter, and May starts doing like making symbols around the door frame for protection and whatnot. And these big old birds start landing on the deck, and their behavior is very strange. And like, Book doesn't really believe in witchcraft, but he's about to. And that same night, too, there's like this crazy storm. And so Book's people that he works with are kind of worried about him. They didn't really want him going to stay out there by himself because they're like, the storm's coming in. We don't know what's going to happen, this, that, and the other. So he has these other colleagues too. There's Alan, Gerald, and Louisa. Alan wakes up in the middle of the night. He's kind of worried. So he calls Gerald and Louisa to try to like be like, maybe we should go check on him, or at least like go to the place where his boat is and talk to Otis, the guy who runs the boat slip area and whatnot, to see if he's okay. So they're heading out towards him too. And just once the coven arrives on the freighter, the crap hits the fan. And they're going to try to take this baby. And they're kind of isolated out there. And so on top of all this craziness that's happening too, you still have like Ruby and Book have all this like unworked through kind of relationship trauma that they need to kind of deal with as well. I mean, there was rights on both sides and there was wrongs on both sides, as somehow these things go, and shades of gray. And so they got to work through that. They have to decide if May is being truthful with them. Because when Book finally saw like May doing like the symbols and stuff, he's like, "What is this crap? Is this like witchcraft and whatnot?" And then she's like, "Yeah," and starts telling him about like why they're out here and then the story. But the first night they don't tell him, and May and Ruby kind of like argue about telling him. It's like, well, I mean, you're putting this guy's life at risk. You should probably maybe tell him what's going on. That there's these women who turn into birds who are trying to steal this baby to murder it for a ritual for their old evil god Stratum to come and be back and reborn on the earth. You might want to tell him that. I know he's not going to believe it at first, but when you start seeing the weird crap happening, he'll believe it. His mind will eventually catch up. It's a wild one. I liked the story. I liked the characters. It had a pretty steady pacing. It's weird and witchy, and I like weird and witchy, so stories like that always are pretty enjoyable to me for the most part. And yeah, if you like witchy weird books with old goddesses who are, I don't know, ritual sacrifice, bird women, then The Nightbirds by Christopher Golden might just be for you. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.